Honesty is the first chapter in the Book of Wisdom. Do you want to know who you are? Don't ask. Act. Action will delineate and define you. The care of human life and happiness, and not their destruction, is the first and only object of good government. In matters of style, swim with the current; in matters of principle, stand like a rock. A wise and frugal government, which shall restrain men from injuring one another, shall leave them otherwise free to regulate their own pursuits of industry and improvement, and shall not take from the mouth of labor the bread it has earned. I like the dreams of the future better than the history of the past. Educate and inform the whole mass of the people. They are the only sure reliance for the preservation of our liberty. Never spend your money before you have earned it. The constitutions of most of our states assert that all power is inherent in the people, that it is their right and duty to be at all times armed. The glow of one warm thought is to me worth more than money. When angry, count to 10 before you speak. If very angry, count to 100. I never considered a difference of opinion in politics, in religion, in philosophy, as cause for withdrawing from a friend. For people who are free, and who mean to remain so, a well-organized and armed militia is their best security. To compel a man to furnish funds for the propagation of ideas he disbelieves and abhors is sinful and tyrannical. I cannot live without books. I predict future happiness for Americans, if they can prevent the government from wasting the labors of the people under the pretense of taking care of them. Every day is lost in which we do not learn something useful. Man has no nobler or more valuable possession than time. I sincerely believe that banking establishments are more dangerous than standing armies, and that the principle of spending money to be paid by posterity, under the name of funding, is but swindling futurity on a large scale. The most valuable of all talents is that of never using two words when one will do. The man who reads nothing at all is better educated than the man who reads nothing but newspapers. On matters of style, swim with the current; on matters of principle, stand like a rock. I would rather be exposed to the inconveniences attending too much liberty than to those attending too small a degree of it. Nothing gives one person so much advantage over another as to remain always cool and unruffled under all circumstances. If a nation expects to be ignorant and free, in a state of civilization, it expects what never was and never will be. I know no safe depository of the ultimate powers of the society but the people themselves, and if we think them not enlightened enough to exercise their control with a wholesome discretion, the remedy is not to take it from them, but to inform their discretion by education. This is the true corrective of abuses of constitutional power. When we see religion split into so many thousand of sects, and I may say Christianity itself divided into its thousands also, who are disputing, anathematizing, and where the laws permit burning and torturing one another for abstractions which no one of them understand, and which are indeed beyond the comprehension of the human mind, into which of the chambers of this bedlam would a man wish to thrust himself? Some are Whigs, Liberals, Democrats, call them what you please. Others are Tories, Serviles, aristocrats, c. The latter fear the people, and wish to transfer all power to the higher classes of society. The former consider the people as the safest depository of power in the last resort. They cherish them therefore, and wish to leave in them all the powers to the exercise of which they are competent. As you say of yourself, I too am an Epicurean. I consider the genuine, not the imputed, doctrines of Epicurus as containing everything rational in moral philosophy which Greece and Rome have left us. All should be laid open to you without reserve, for there is not a truth existing which I fear, or would wish unknown to the whole world. The whole art of government consists in the art of being honest. It is an axiom in my mind that our liberty can never be safe but in the hands of the people themselves, and that too of the people with a certain degree of instruction. This it is the business of the state to effect, and on a general plan. The equal rights of man, and the happiness of every individual, are now acknowledged to be the only legitimate objects of government. When injustice becomes law, resistance becomes duty. A republican government is slow to move, yet once in motion its momentum becomes irresistible. Do not bite at the bait of pleasure till you know there is no hook beneath it. Enlighten the people, generally, and tyranny and oppressions of body and mind will vanish like spirits at the dawn of day. I do not take a single newspaper, nor read one a month, and I feel myself infinitely the happier for it. Laws and institutions must go hand in hand with the general progress of the human mind. It is neither wealth nor splendor, but tranquility and occupation which give happiness. Never trouble another for what you can do for yourself. No instance exists of a person's writing 2 languages perfectly. That will always appear to be his native language which was most familiar to him in his youth. Say nothing of my religion. It is known to God and myself alone. Its evidence before the world is to be sought in my life. If it has been honest and dutiful to society, the religion which has regulated it cannot be a bad one. The spirit of resistance to government is so valuable on certain occasions, that I wish it always to be kept alive. The will of the people is the only legitimate foundation of any government, and to protect its free expression should be our first object. Walking is the best possible exercise. Habituate yourself to walk very far. We confide in our strength, without boasting of it, we respect that of others, without fearing it. Every difference of opinion is not a difference of principle. No government ought to be without censors, and where the press is free no one ever will. How little do my countrymen know what precious blessings they are in possession of, and which no other people on earth enjoy. Those who expect to be both ignorant and free, expect what never was and never will be. The natural progress of things is for liberty to yield, and government to gain ground. A great deal of love given to a few is better than a little to many. When governments fear the people, there is liberty. When the people fear the government, there is tyranny. I have no ambition to govern men, it is a painful and thankless office. I prefer dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. The opinions and beliefs of men follow involuntarily the evidence proposed to their minds. Equal and exact justice to all men, of whatever state or persuasion. Too old to plant trees for my own gratification, I shall do it for my posterity. Ignorance is preferable to error, and he is less remote from the truth who believes nothing than he who believes what is wrong. The art of life is the art of avoiding pain. A little rebellion is good now and then. I believe that every human mind feels pleasure in doing good to another. Whenever the people are well informed, they can be trusted with their own government. The government you elect is the government you deserve. In matters of principle, stand like a rock. A coward is much more exposed to quarrels than a man of spirit. I'm a greater believer in luck, and I find the harder I work the more I have of it. History, in general, only informs us what bad government is. There is nothing more unequal than the equal treatment of unequal people. Our liberty depends on the freedom of the press, and that cannot be limited without being lost. Be polite to all, but intimate with few. Pride costs us more than hunger, thirst, and cold. The dead should not rule the living. It is reasonable that everyone who asks justice should do justice. Our civil rights have no dependence upon our religious opinions more than our opinions in physics or geometry. Leave no authority existing not responsible to the people.
Like video to subscribe my channel and press the bell icon.